Hey there, time detective. Pull up a chair and prepare to dive into one of the strangest, most spine-tingling mysteries of the 20th century, the man who got lost in time. This story has everything: time travel, fashion from another era, unexplainable disappearances, and enough questions to keep conspiracy theorists busy for decades. Ready? Let's unravel this cosmic riddle together. It all started in the bustling streets of New York City during the 1950s, a time when poodle skirts, jazz music, and post-war optimism ruled the day. One ordinary afternoon, something extraordinary happened. Witnesses reported seeing a man wandering aimlessly through Times Square, or at least that's what they thought at first glance. But as people got closer, they realized there was something off about him. This mysterious figure wasn't dressed like your typical New Yorker. Instead of the sharp suits or casual denim of the 1950s, he wore clothing that looked straight out of the late 1800s. Think waistcoats, long coats, polished boots, and even a top hat. To onlookers, it was like stepping onto the set of a period drama. But this guy seemed completely unaware that he didn't belong. Before anyone could ask too many questions, the man collapsed. Paramedics rushed to the scene, but when they searched his pockets, things only got weirder. Inside his coat, they found old coins. None of them dated later than the 1870s. A letter addressed to someone named Rudolph Fentz, dated 1876, and no ID card or modern documents. Nothing linking him to the 20th century. Doctors tried to revive him, but he remained unconscious. When questioned later, the man claimed he had no memory of how he ended up in New York City, or why everyone around him looked so strange. He spoke as though he had stepped directly out of the Victorian era, confused by cars, electric lights, and skyscrapers. Here's where the story takes a truly bizarre turn. After being taken to a hospital for observation, the man, who investigators assumed was Rudolph Fentz, vanished overnight. Poof, just like that. No broken windows, no forced doors, no security footage catching his escape. It was as if he'd slipped through a crack in reality itself. But wait, it gets better. Further investigation revealed records of a man named Rudolph Fentz who lived in the 1870s. According to historical archives, he disappeared under mysterious circumstances after arguing with his family and storming out into the night. Sound familiar? It's almost as if the same man reappeared nearly 80 years later, only to vanish again. So, what do we make of this baffling case? Over the years, countless explanations have been proposed. Some are grounded in logic, others veer deep into the realm of science fiction. Here are a few possibilities. Could Rudolph Fentz have accidentally stumbled into a wormhole or temporal rift? If time travel exists, even unintentionally, it might explain how he jumped forward nearly a century. Unfortunately, without proper guidance or equipment, he may not have been able to return home, leading to his second disappearance. Another theory suggests that Fentz somehow crossed over from a parallel timeline where the 1870s still exist. Maybe our world briefly overlapped with his, allowing him to step into ours before being pulled back again. If true, this raises fascinating questions about alternate realities and whether they interact more often than we realize. Skeptics argue that the entire incident was staged, an elaborate prank designed to fool journalists and historians. Perhaps someone went to great lengths to create authentic-looking artifacts and costumes, then orchestrated the discovery of Fentz. While plausible, this theory doesn't quite explain his sudden disappearance from the hospital. On the more grounded side of things, some suggest that Fentz suffered from severe amnesia or delusions, causing him to believe he belonged in the past. His vintage attire and possessions could have been props used for theater or reenactments. However, this explanation struggles to account for the eerie parallels between his life in the 1870s and his reappearance in the 1950s. Stories like Rudolph Fence's tap into our collective fascination with the unknown. They challenge us to consider possibilities beyond the mundane, the idea that time isn't as linear as we think, or that forces beyond human comprehension shape our lives. Whether you're a believer in time travel, alternate dimensions, or just enjoy a good mystery, Fence's tale leaves you asking, what if? Moreover, this story highlights the fragility of human existence. We're all products of our time, shaped by the culture, technology, and events surrounding us. Seeing someone ripped out of their context and dropped into an unfamiliar world reminds us how disorienting and isolating that experience must be. While we'll likely never know the truth about Rudolph Fence, his story endures as a testament to humanity's endless curiosity about time, space, and the boundaries of reality. Was he a victim of faulty physics? A traveler lost between worlds? Or simply a figment of overactive imaginations? One thing's for sure. The next time you find yourself wandering through a crowded city street, take a moment to look around. You never know. You might just spot someone who seems a little out of place. And who knows? Maybe they've got a story even stranger than Fence's. What do you think? Is this a genuine case of time travel, or is there a simpler explanation lurking beneath the surface? Either way, it's a reminder that the universe is full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered.